Hi everybody, welcome to episode 20 of the Teesside Business Podcast. Today we're very lucky to be joined by Sarah Hall.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks very much for coming down. So, we're really happy to have you on because your obviously your business is very unique. Obviously, I don't think there's anyone in Teesside who would pretty much have the same job.
A couple who were on the similar lines.
Yeah, but still really different. So if you want to get started just by telling us a little bit about your career history and how you came into, obviously, your current role, which I want to say is Motorsport Media.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know there's two sides of it that we'll talk about in a moment. But, okay, so how did you come down that career trajectory?
So basically, my dad's fault. He's always raced bikes, cars, and so I've spent my childhood following him around racing and what have you. So he's always pushed me into the motorsport world, I guess.
Yeah.
I started off, my first taste of it really was having drives out with my dad in his rally cars and stuff that. It's always really cool to remember. And then started off with a bit of karting myself.
Yeah.
And then, it went from there, really. Yeah.
So did it go down from that, like, you racing, was that going to be kind of what you always wanted to do, or? I
think it was just destined, really. No choice in the matter. I just ended up doing several really different types of driving and different driving experiences, and just found that I really loved it. Until I could pass my test, I really held back. I wasn't all that interested. It was kind of your parents pushed you towards it a little bit, but you kind of rebel a little bit.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I realised, actually, I passed my driving test, I kind of get what this is all about now.
Yeah.
It kind of clicked, and then I was like, absolutely love it.
So was it kind of, what kind of aspect of it was the fact just purely just like love going fast, the adrenaline side of it, or?
Definitely the adrenaline does something without you even realising, I think. That's obviously a massive part of it. But just growing up around racing, you get such a real sense of the passion involved behind the scenes, in the pits, in the paddock, not just out on track. And you really see what is involved, especially when you've got a family-run race team as well.
Yeah.
So you see so many different elements of it. So the passion was really always there. And then sort of the mechanical side of it. I love the cars themselves and understanding how they work and stuff. Really interested in that as well. I started really with the photography side of things.
Oh, okay.
So while I was following my dad around, I was taking pictures and finding that I quite enjoyed capturing that other side of things as well as the action itself behind the scenes. So I like the whole thing of it, really. And then I got to sort of leaving school age, and my dad, I think it was for possibly Christmas on my birthday, bought me a decent camera. Yeah. And the passion went on from there, really.
So did that develop into you doing it for like other teams or publications, or what kind of, like, how did that kind of happen?
So I started really working for what used to be called the Evening Gazette. Has changed now. At the time, I used to supply them with pictures from my dad's meetings, but not just for my dad racing, for the whole kind of championship, really. Take pictures of the events and get them published in there for a bit of publicity for them. So that's how that started, and then you just end up with a feature somewhere else and somewhere else. And
so is it just purely like motorsport and stuff that you like produce photography and things for?
Mostly. I've done a few other little bits as well, but the passion is in the motorsport, so it's hard to focus on other things if you're really passionate about one thing.
Well, it's great to be able to produce stuff that you're passionate about. Like, it's the dream for 99% of people,
I know,
isn't it?
It really is, and I think you produce better work as well
when
you're really passionate about it, because I think it shows, so that's helped.
So when it comes to the driving side of it, like, correct me if I'm wrong, because I might get this wrong, but would you label yourself, was it a precision driver?
Precision driving, stunt driving, you can call it. It sounds a little bit dramatic sometimes.
Yeah, because somebody was asking me the other day who, like, we had on this week, and I was saying, and I said, it's precision driving. Like, is that like stunt driving? And I was like, I'm thinking that it's different. So I was going to ask you kind of like exactly,
It's a different word for the same thing, in effect.
Okay.
I guess they cover a lot of bases depending on what project you're working on. So it can be something where you're acting as a stunt driver on behalf of another person, or whether you are the feature in it as well. So sometimes they just want to see a car go sideways. Yeah. You can produce that. Or sometimes they want to see you driving. Yeah. So you can.
So how did you start doing like that kind of work?
Well, like I said, I've done several different driving experiences, I guess, throughout the years, and found that I really like it. Yeah. And not really thought about whether I was any good or not. Just one of those things you enjoy doing, and you go for it. And then I started to do some media work for a local like stunt drive experience company, and got chatting. They realised I was into the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just went from there. So I ended up being an instructor for them for a couple of years, and then really got into it.
And so what kind of stuff do you work on and things like that? Like we'll talk about in a second, but obviously we were just talking about that you've just done some work with Sky in a program, but what kind of other kind of stuff have you done in the past?
So the kind of things that I'm doing like right now is different projects. It can be anything from automotive events that need staffing or vehicle experts, trainers, to driving. So driving for TV shows. Whether you're actually on there as the face or whether they just want the car, to perform in a certain way and you're the driver behind that.
So what are the kind of main differences of doing those two? Like being obviously when you're not the face behind the camera, obviously, and you've just got to get the car to do it. Is it just a case of you show up and they say, look, we've got this, Vauxhall Astra, we just want it to go really fast around this corner, go.
It can be. It can be as simple as that. Sometimes we have projects where there's a real in-depth brief about what the show is or what's happening, what you need it to look like. And that's where your training comes in and the practice comes in, because you've just got to be able to do the same thing. When you need to do several takes, it might not be that you're doing it differently. You might have an actor or somebody else who's in there and they need to reshoot. You need to be able to do the same thing in the same place every single time,
which must be really hard to do. Like I imagine, like when you're shooting to get it kind of like for the shot, etc. Even if you're off by a couple of feet or something, that doesn't sound like much, but I imagine it can change.
For continuity and stuff. It depends on the project. Sometimes there's a little bit of leeway. Sometimes there's a bit of pressure to get it exactly right. So it's just a case of practice, I guess, and that's where practice and training comes in.
So what kind of a scale are we talking about? From like, let's say specific things like you said there, like making something look exciting, going sideways, etc., or is it like jumping over 20 buses, or like what kind of scale are we talking?
Well, I can't say I've jumped over 20 buses yet.
Okay.
It's all,
I like how you said yes.
Well, I don't rule it out. If I was ever asked to, I might give it a go. But it's always kind of been one or two cars in general, apart from the Sky thing that was slightly different, but that wasn't really stunts, that was all real. But the rest tends to be you in a car, possibly with another car interacting with you or on the set, and it's just you doing what it is you need to do. It tends to be there's more involved. It's very long-winded, more than you would expect, I guess, if you're not really into the behind the scenes of filming. You might think 1 5-second sequence is filmed as a 5-second sequence, and really you've got 3, 4, 5 cameras, and there's one filming that side, one filming that side. And of course, you've got to do it again and again and again to put all the little clips together. So it can take a lot longer than you think.
So how does it differ from when you were the face behind the camera? Because obviously, like, for me, I was just thinking there of like, when most people kind of get into those situations, just facial expressions. But I suppose that you've done it that much that you can remain calm while you do it and things like that. But what are the main differences between the two?
Dread to think what my face looks like when I'm concentrating.
All right.
I'll probably pull all sorts of faces when I'm like throwing the car around. I guess I don't really think of that because I'm just concentrating on getting right what I'm trying to do. I mean, it is in the back of your mind. And you're sort of aware that the cameras are on you, especially if you've got in-car GoPros and stuff that are constantly there. It's not just one clip. So you do think there's a camera on me, but as soon as you actually go into doing manoeuvres and things, you don't really think about it.
It kind of goes to the back of your mind.
Then.
So have you ever had to do train like any actors or anything like that? Like do they ever bring you in to kind of say, look, you need to train?
I haven't. No, I have briefed people on how to drive. Obviously with the instructing thing anyway. I used to brief people on how to do the manoeuvres. And try and teach them to do something of a similar nature if they could.
How easy is it to teach somebody to be able to do like manoeuvres and things like that? Does it matter on kind of like, obviously driving down the street is very different to doing stunt driving and things like that? Like
I think everybody finds it a little bit tricky, even if you've got a natural talent at the beginning. You're being told to drive completely the opposite of how your brain has been taught to drive. So all your natural reactions, you just need to forget, which is easier said than done.
Oh yeah, completely.
So some people pick it up really quick. Some people really struggle with it, but they might get to the point where they're actually better than the person who picked it up quick. It's everyone's at different paces, I guess, with everything in life, isn't it, when you're learning? But yeah, it's not easy.
No.
But it's doable.
Yeah.
But you do need to be focused. It's something you need to be
Putting
really interested in wanting to perfect.
To do it, because some of you see some of the sequences and things like that. Like we were talking recently, we went to see the new Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah.
Just because we've done some shooting recently where some of it was filmed, not linked to it or anything, just in the same location. Some of the sequence in that were just insane.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And now that I do more of this work, I watch stuff like that on a different level now because I'm looking, going, oh, I wonder how they did that. Oh, I know how we did that one, and you can see how it was filmed, which is quite interesting.
Like some of the driving sequences, like have you seen the recent movie?
No, I haven't seen the recent.
Well, there's like a big long scene of without giving anything away, where they drive through Paris like a high speed, and it blatantly is like we couldn't believe it. It's Tom Cruise driving and in a motorcycle, but it is Tom Cruise.
He's great.
Doing
He's
it.
well known, isn't he, for doing his own? So but good on him for the driving as well.
He's literally like no helmet on a bike, careering through the centre of Paris, at like 80 miles an hour. Just like I'd hate to like be his insurance provider or whatever. Like
they must hate him.
It's absolutely insane. So speaking of insane, tell us a little bit about the Sky project then, so tell us what it is first, and then we'll talk about kind of a little bit more about it.
Yeah, Sky called it a war on wheels.
Okay.
Carnage, it was called.
Yeah, ominous.
It literally was carnage. So the long and short of it, myself and my two team members, Rob and Hannah, we decided to apply for the show. We just saw an advert that was a little bit vague.
Yeah.
Do you want to build a car and race it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Answer was yeah. So we thought we'll apply for this.
Yeah,
and see what happens. Yeah, we'll see what it's all about. And it was all very, very hush hush. So we knew basically what was going to happen, but it was so under wraps till we got there.
Yeah.
And I think everyone was a little bit thrown with what we were actually faced with.
Yeah.
Basically, we had to build a Mad Max style post-apocalyptic car.
Yeah.
With weapons, working weapons.
All right. Okay.
And take it to Africa.
All right.
Battle
Okay.
it out. So that's all we knew really, and we didn't know who else was in it, what other cars there were. We were just in our own little zone.
Okay.
Rob and Hannah did the majority of the build.
Yeah.
And what a build it was.
So tell us a bit about like the process of building the car then, because that's like a very vague type thing. Like I'm thinking like Robot Wars with the cars.
It's in a nutshell as Robot Wars with drivers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Tell us a little bit about like where you started to think about like building, because obviously you must have had quite a bit of input into the car because it's you driving around this death machine at the end of the day.
I think I just hid away. I didn't want to know really. It's too scary.
Just show up.
I'm creative. Rob's quite creative. Hannah is an excellent mechanic and engineer, so they did most of the build. Rob did the basic design of the car, and we just all worked as a team and put input into the project really. We did have a few guidelines to work to, but they were pretty vague. We decided to use a Porsche 938 Boxster.
All right,
of all things.
Why did you pick that?
We wanted to be different.
Okay.
That's just how we are. So we wanted to be different for a start off. It looks awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's a given.
Yep.
Rob works for a company called 9 Apart, which is a Porsche parts specialist.
Yep.
So he knows Porsches inside out.
Very handy.
He races one as well.
Yeah.
So we thought if anything goes wrong...
Yeah, you've got
Rob's
the experience there.
Yeah, he's got the experience with it. I've driven Rob's race Porsche as well, so I've got a bit of experience of how the Porsche handles.
Yeah.
Although this one was a lot heavier when we were finished with it. But so that's why we chose the Porsche.
So we'll start off with that and then talk about that, obviously. So are there any challenges that it presents to how like a Porsche drives, to say like picking something that was... a BMW or a Subaru Impreza or whatever. Like what other types of cars were on the show?
A lot, mainly 4x4s, which would have been our original.
See, that's kind of like a Landy or something like that. Yeah. It was it can pretty much do anything. It's tough,
However, we did know there was going to be a desert race.
Right. Okay.
So it's not just about
being solid.
It was about agility as well. So we thought, well, I've got the driver training.
Yep.
The Porsche is going to be brilliant at the agility because it's going to be a lot lighter than a lot of the big 4x4s. Yeah. So that was hopefully going to be
so much quicker as well.
Yeah.
So is that so what kind of so when it came driving it, did that cause you any problems of being out in the desert picking obviously
Absolutely. The heat was the main thing.
Yeah.
It was unbearable as a human stood under the sun.
Yeah.
The car obviously they're not made to perform in that kind of heat.
No.
So we had to take different measures and precautions to try and combat that a little bit and protect the car from overheating. But that was a big challenge, definitely.
So obviously, a lot of the people want to know like weapons. Like as soon as you said the word weapons and car, everyone thinks like, so did you have free reign of what weapons you can put on a car? How do you go about putting weapons on a car?
Yeah, exactly. Well, we didn't know any of this until we did the project. I guess we were quite reserved at first, and then they were like, no, let your imagination run wild. Yeah. So we really ran with it. Again, there was restrictions, but initially they were like, no, tell us your absolute ultimate weapon fantasy, what you would want on this car if you were in a movie, and anything was possible. So we went for every single idea we could, and obviously some things had to be restricted slightly. But yeah, we were given pretty much free reign, of what we wanted.
So, can it have guns on it? Like missiles? Like what are we talking?
You can't have... we couldn't have anything that would literally fire out of the vehicle.
Right, okay.
A solid item that would fire out of the vehicle.
I suppose there's danger for the other drivers and stuff like that.
That's it. I mean, except for we did have a paintball gun that was allowed.
All right, okay.
Because that's obviously not going to cause damage as such.
Yeah, it's not going to kill someone. No, it's just going to sting a bit.
But we would never hit the driver. Yeah. Because they were all protected. But our main aim with the paintball gun, we could fire it at people's windscreens and create a lot of smeary mess, so people couldn't see where they were driving. So that was a weapon we chose.
So when it came, are you firing the weapons as well as driving?
Yeah.
So was that all like steering wheel mounted, or did you have like levers and stuff?
Oh, there was levers and like pulleys all over the car. It was really, really nuts. It was really surreal. Rob and Hannah, the job they did at actually fitting everything into it was absolutely fantastic. It was sort of really genius. We had the paintball gun out of the window, out of the passenger side, so it was on like a rotation, so you can put it anywhere you want out of the window, and he'd managed to manufacture like a big handle with a trigger button on the end for me, so that I didn't have to reach right over in the car. I could just press it next to my steering wheel, so that was really cool. So obviously the driving side of it, you kind of already like had it boxed off because you've had years and years and years of perfecting it, but obviously a lot of it's natural to you. But when it comes to driving and firing weapons, like, did you have to practice a lot before it, or did you just get to the desert and go, well, we'll just make this happen? We didn't really get any practice, which was really frustrating, but everyone was kind of in the same boat, to be fair. It was really hard though, because you're trying to concentrate, and I guess it depends what's happening. You don't know what's going to happen when you get into the arena to do a battle either. So we just had a few minutes to quickly practice and make sure everything was set up right. And it's just go for it.
So when it comes to battling in the arena, are the rules or basically just kind of incapacitate the other car?
The only rule was you can't T-bone the driver's door.
All right, okay.
That's it.
It's not many rules then, is it?
Free for all. Last man standing.
God, so, and have you got, I take it you've got, how many battles were there in total? How many teams, sorry?
There was originally 30 teams.
Okay.
I think 28 made it actually out to the desert.
Yeah.
So you were split up into different battles.
Stages,
so there was like three cars against three cars. And then
so it's like three people in the arena.
It's 3 people in the arena, and then you go through like a knockout, and obviously they go through to a final at the end.
God, so that's it. Obviously, you've got to use the same car as you go through.
Yeah, you've got the same car throughout.
So, how much spares and stuff did you have to take out? Like,
we were allowed a pallet. Ship our spares out with the car, but that's still not a lot of spares. Once you put a set of 4 wheels and tyres on,
I was going to say, like you've got
pallet's pretty much full.
Yeah. Never mind bodywork and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, bodywork really was entirely out the window.
Yeah.
The car was encased in 5mm plated steel.
All right, okay.
The full thing.
Yeah.
All made to look absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Though. But yeah, the bodywork was really not an issue.
Yeah. So you didn't have to worry about
that would stand up to anything. So it was mainly the mechanical. We had to keep the car going.
Yeah.
So spare wheels, tyres, things like that we needed.
So how did, like, obviously, armour plate in a car must add like quite a bit of weight to it. How did that affect like the driving side of it? Because obviously
it really affected it.
Like compared to driving like a normal Porsche, like you must have in your head, well, this car drives like this, and I know how it.
Yeah, that was where I really would have loved to have more time to practice in it. But again, everyone was in the same boat. But it weighed about 2.5 ton, I think.
Bloody hell.
So it's a very, very heavy car.
Yeah.
So it does absolutely affect the driving. We actually built a big steel ram on the front.
Okay.
Which, if we didn't run out of time, was going to be on a hydraulic to lift and flip. But we didn't have time to put that on, unfortunately. Right. But we were going to use the ram as a ram.
Yeah.
And we did. So that was on the front, and that made it quite front heavy. So it did handle a lot different to as it would normally. And obviously with the car trying to pull that extra weight around as well in the heat, that doesn't really help the engine.
Not really,
either.
no.
Yeah, that was a bit of a challenge.
When it comes to, obviously, with the Ram, like, obviously you're thinking about hitting another car that does damage to the car, but what about you in the car? Because obviously you're hitting something at a fair speed, and I take it didn't have many airbags and stuff in it.
Absolutely no airbags. You don't need any of that.
Yeah.
When you're racing, you don't have airbags anyway.
No.
You've got enough safety restraints that you won't move out of your chair to absorb an airbag impact. One of the stipulations, before we were allowed to design and start working on the car, we had to send the car away to a specialist who fitted a cage and a fire extinguisher and all those kind of things in it. So it's the same as being in a race car, really. It was just a lot more confined space-wise.
Yeah. Any crazy injuries or anything like that, or did you manage to walk away?
I did pull my shoulder. Other than that,
okay.
I was fine.
That's pretty good.
Other than denting my pride.
Anybody else pick up any like kind of crazy injuries or anything like that?
Not really. I think there was a few bruises and sore bodies the days after the battles, but
that was all right. Though. You know, you kind of expect that. Really,
when you're going into something like that, yeah, absolutely.
So, have you got anything on the horizon then that's equally crazy that you can talk about? Or
nothing as crazy just yet. I've worked on a few cool projects though since, but nothing quite on that insane scale.
Anything you can tell us about?
There's a show which actually starts next week, All Star Driving School, which I think is on E4.
Yeah.
That's starting next week, and I think it's on every night for a couple of weeks. So it's following various celebrities through their learning to drive experience.
Or for like fully learning to drive
from scratch on the road, like normal driving.
Yeah. The boring side.
Yeah, the normal side.
The mortals do like with.
But I was invited to go down to work on that with them.
Okay.
I didn't do any of the instructing, but we did a little challenge for the celebs.
Oh, right, okay.
On the show, and one of the challenges was production put road signs all around a race arena.
Yeah.
And we were, because they were using the Suzuki Swifts to drive, as they'll see the new models out on the show next week, and so they gave me a Suzuki Swift Sport because I've got experience of other projects driving that.
Yeah.
And they said, right, you need to get in, give the celebs a quick whiz around the arena, and try and distract them.
Yeah.
Because they've got to remember all the signs. I had to try and distract them from remembering the signs.
Okay.
So yeah, that was quite interesting. That was a really good laugh.
Oh, so basically you're driving the car.
I'm throwing them around in a Suzuki Swift Sport, and they've got to remember these signs, and it's a competition against each other, each of the students.
So that was a lot of fun, actually.
That was really, really fun, yeah. It was really good.
You managed to get them to bang their heads off any windows? Or...
A little bit. I was absolutely desperate to make Arj from The Only Way Is Essex scream.
Oh, right,
I didn't quite make him scream, but he was absolutely laughing his head off, so that was really good. They all had fun, though.
Didn't make anybody sick or reduce
No, I
tears?
didn't make anyone sick. There was one lad that did say he felt a bit funny when he got out, though. But...
well, job well done there.
Yeah, that was my aim. Make someone sick, I'll make them scream at the end of it.
So, anything else that you've been doing recently, or?
I've been doing some like brand ambassador work, so that's just obviously representing different manufacturers, different automotive companies. So I've just done a job for Mazda. Okay. It's just a bit of promotional work, really. Yeah. So they're slightly less exciting and adrenaline rush, but it's still good. It's good work anyway. Yeah, it's really enjoyable.
Do you ever like on that work and thinking, I'd much rather be driving this than
yeah, I mean, it's a shame. Like the corporate side, I do really like it. It's lovely to have that contrast.
Yeah, and it really is a contrast, isn't
it?
Absolutely,
but it's really good that it's all related. So anything to do with cars, really, I'm happy. Or bikes, I'm happy there. But yeah, it's nice to have that change. Yeah, because I guess it's with any job, you get a little bit bored if you're doing the same thing.
Well, it comes like normality, or a certain amount of normalcy. But...
So I guess now I look forward to the driving stuff more because I'm not doing it every day.
Yeah.
So I really look forward to it.
So what kind of stuff would you like to be doing in the future with it?
I'd love to do more driving work. Anything to do with this, like similar to the projects I've worked on already.
Yeah.
I'm just up for any kind of car stuff. Really, I'm always open to all of that kind of thing. But yeah, I'd love to explore the idea. We have actually been looking a little bit, whether it'll come to fruition is another thing, at starting another sort of like a driving academy. Yeah. That would be really, really cool. So we've been looking for like precision driving. Yeah. So just imparting hopefully a bit of wisdom and teaching some people some stuff, giving them a really good experience. I'd love to do that kind of thing.
I think I saw not so long ago. I think it was down south as London. Somebody was putting on a course for like it was for people who are in like the protection industry and things like that. You know, like I think it was evasive driving. I can't remember how it was labelled.
Defensive driving, possibly.
Something like that. Like that'd be like really good.
That would be. I'd love to get into that kind of thing. I'd love to. That would be something to possibly explore. Obviously, you maybe could go down the route of looking at like it's for police and things like that, police drivers, traffic police and stuff. That would be really cool to look into that.
It is. I always joke. Like my father-in-law used to drive for the police, and I was to be on their tactical unit, and then he retired, and then he ended up going back and driving ambulances. Yeah. I just thought that you can't drive around without like sirens going. Like it's just so boring for him. So how have you found then obviously like your business is like really niche where obviously we've had a lot of people who have like traditional type businesses where yours is that. So how you find it as having Teesside for a base for it? Obviously we have the the motorsport and things like that, but is it a really good place to have, or is it just because you're just born and bred from here? Or
just born and bred here really. So I don't really have a reason to leave yet. It is difficult sometimes because you've got to travel. Most of the jobs are out of the 99% of the jobs are really out of the area. Most of them are down south. But it's just a given. I
suppose that's the industry though, isn't it? Like a lot of stuff's like, on location.
That's it. It's either on location somewhere or you've got a race track, and it's usually the bigger tracks like Teesside's fantastic track. But there's less stuff happening there film-wise that I'm involved with anyway than there is down south. So I just have to go where the opportunities are. But if they can do something at Teesside, that'd be great.
So anyone listening who wants to like, there's loads of like great stuff that can be done there, I suppose.
Absolutely, it's a brilliant track. Really good. They just obviously don't have the huge sporting events like the other tracks do, but they've got some fantastic stuff going on there. So.
Like, can you take your own? Like, can you take cars around it? Can you just book in?
You can book track days. They do track evenings during the summer, and then they do different track days as well throughout the year as well.
I did like one of those experience type days, like years and years and years ago, and one of the things that I always remember that it was crazy that I got took round in the car first, and then I had to go, and then they took me around again, and just the difference of them driving it versus me, I was like you must be so bored sat in this car with me after I drive it. But it's incredible when you actually see, what cars can actually do.
Yeah, because you just don't feel that until you push it to the limit as well. And it doesn't even have to be a Lamborghini or a Ferrari. You can get a Citroen Saxo, and if you drive it on its limit, it's so much fun. And that's where you get the adrenaline, because it's on the limit. It doesn't really matter what you're driving.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like a lot of people kind of like think, well, they've got no kind of context, have they, of like what that kind of what on the limit kind of is.
Yeah, most people never get the chance to drive in that manner or experience that. So it is really giving people a different side of things. Yeah. That's what's really good. It's always good to make people like scream or
just do like a local
panic or
star in a reasonably priced car, like a local one.
Idea.
Yeah.
There's an idea.
That'd be always good. So what kind of projects have you got coming up then with the photography side of it, and kind of things like what kind of work are you looking for, like, with that bit of it?
Again, I'm open to anything that comes my way, really. I'm working a lot with the BTID Rallycross Championship.
Okay.
So I do photography in relation to that. Mm-hmm. The usual kind of action kind of stuff. But I also do presenting work for them as well. Oh, okay. So they are now on TV.
Oh, yay. That's good.
Never
off TV, no?
I know, that's it. I'll forget where I came from. They used to have a YouTube channel at the beginning when I started with them. Yep. And so the whole meeting, each championship meeting was filmed, and I did the presenting for it, which was really, really fun. It was my first real kind of insight into the presenting. So it was way out of my comfort zone, which you can probably tell when I look back now and see how I was filming the first time. But loads of fun, really enjoyed it. And then the championship has progressed now, and they've actually managed to snatch some TV slots up. Oh, so it's now on the TV as well, They have cut my face out now. Oh. It's just me interviewing.
Oh, right. Is it just the microphone?
It's just my hand and the microphone. I don't know what they're trying to say, but they cut my face off. But
Rick, we should do that with me.
Yeah, well, that's really fun. So that's good. That's something I really enjoy, because I get to see the ups and downs and the challenges people have in the pits. I mean, I've seen people take an engine out after a race meeting on a Saturday night and put another engine back in before the Sunday morning. And just to get back out there.
I suppose it's that side of it. I suppose as well, if you're doing like, there's a few races, you kind of you get to know those people.
That's it. I do. I get to know the competitors, and it's really great to see them do well, and you feel sad for them when they're doing not so well. But it's great to see how people progress, and I think that helps me with my questioning of them as well, because obviously I know what's been happening for them and whether they're leading the points of the championship and stuff like that.
So do you have to write your own questions and stuff for them, or does some get provided?
No, I just do that myself.
Oh well, that's good that you've kind of got like a working knowledge of it,
That's
on that
it,
side
and I try and get as near trackside as I can to watch what's happening.
Yeah.
So as soon as they come in, like quick helmet off.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Yeah.
They've got that adrenaline there, the emotion, and
so you lost. Why do you suck?
Yeah. Usually don't word it like that.
No,
but...
it's a good tip actually. That's awesome. So I don't know if you've seen in other podcasts, but we now ask every single guest 3 questions. No pressure at all. See, we might have to change these because people are now starting to rehearse answers for them. So the 3 questions in order are: the first one is, what does success look like to you? Like, everybody's different. We've had a million different answers, and it's a good thing because everybody is different. Some people just said, I want to be a millionaire. Other people have said, I just want to spend more time with my kids. Other people have said whatever it is. The second thing is, have you ever had a setback or a failure in your life that has later led to success? So it's opened doors, whatever it be. Like, some people have said they got made redundant, but that made them start their own business, which is, that kind of thing. And then the third thing is one thing that you're utterly obsessed with at the moment. So it can be, we've had people say some types of food, we've had people say TV shows, people have said gadgets or products, like, so whatever it is, like one thing that you're really liking at the moment. So we'll start hard and get easier with the success. So what does success look like to you? Happiness. Okay.
It's sort of, I don't see it as one specific goal as such, because I think your goals can change along the way.
Yeah, definitely.
So for me, if I've got to a place where I'm comfortable, the business is all right, and I'm happy,
you can drive things fast.
Easy as that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can always do that as long as you don't get caught. You're fine.
I do it on the track, and you can just go wild.
Yeah. Is it one of those things that you do it so much that you just feel that you just drive at 30 miles per hour everywhere, or do you think I'll just stick my foot down here?
No, it's tempting, of course.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I don't have a car that's a performance car.
Yeah.
So that doesn't help. But I just value my license too much.
Yeah. Well, I suppose
so
it's
I take real pride in saying I've got a clean license.
So yeah.
So well,
I suppose
the thing is, you get it out on the track, you get all that out there. No one's an angel on the road.
Well, I suppose you don't have to prove that you can drive fast.
That's it. I don't need to prove it to anybody. I love driving in general, but to be honest, there's too many nutters out on the road.
Yeah.
It's too busy to be silly, because it's just going to go pear-shaped. So save it for the track.
Sorry, I kind of diverged there.
That's right.
Okay, so the second thing is, have you ever had like a setback? And I know failure is a really feel word, but where something's happened that's later led to a good thing happening down the line.
That's a tricky one.
It is.
That's a really tricky one. I guess you always have setbacks and failures, whether they seem big at the time.
Yeah.
They don't seem big now when you look back at them.
Yeah.
I think my biggest one that sort of bugged me, I guess is the right word. I used to take photographs at a venue. It shall remain nameless. And you keep yourself to yourself.
Yeah.
I was there for 8 years. Yeah. It's a fair old time. Alongside another photographer who was just nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Worked alongside each other fine. Decided he had an issue with me.
All right.
So, management favoured him. So that was the end of that for me, which was gutting for me, because it was something that was a real passion for me, again, motorsport.
Yeah.
But it gave me the opportunity to do the Sky project.
Yeah.
It gave me the opportunity to do so much more after that.
Yeah.
So for me, I guess that's probably, it's like bittersweet.
It's
a shame that I don't do it anymore, but if that's the calibre of people that are down there,
then it allows you.
Do you want to be around that kind of childish behaviour? Probably not. But so I guess that's given me the time to work on other things, which has led to some really good projects that I've been really lucky to be involved with.
Yeah.
So I don't see it, at the time it was hard to deal with, but it's led to other things. So
yeah, awesome. Yeah, well, that's generally how it works with these things, isn't it? So, and the last one is what are you obsessed with at the moment? Can be anything.
Loads of things. Can I say more than one thing?
Yeah, sure. No problem with that at all.
Strawberry milkshakes.
Yep. Any particular brand or just?
Nesquik, standard. I recently have been diagnosed with lactose intolerance.
All right, okay.
So it's been a massive issue for me, and I finally found a really nice milk. I know this is really boring.
No. To be fair, anyone who's listening who loves milkshakes or lactose intolerant,
all the milk fans out there.
Yeah.
But there's a load of options for milk, almond milk and stuff.
Yeah.
It's all horrible. It ain't milk. I love a glass of milk.
Yeah.
I found a really nice one. So I'm like all over the strawberry milkshakes again. Now that I can drink it and not be sick. It's great.
Yeah.
So that's like an
fine.
obsession in my life.
Yeah.
Peaky Blinders, except I've just finished it. So now I'm like, at that stage when you're a little bit like you've come down off a high.
You always look forward to like the next thing.
And it's gone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's he doing? What's Thomas Shelby doing?
We had it recently, Mike in the office there has only somehow just managed to start to watch Game of Thrones.
Never watched it.
Haven't you?
I'm the only person in the world, I think, that hasn't watched it. I have bought the first episode, so that may be my next, obsession.
It would be, it fills a good hole for you if it does.
I might go for a bit of Game of Thrones.
It's been funny to watch Mike go through the emotional roller coaster of watching it when you've already seen it.
I know, that's it.
It's quite good.
And cars, I guess.
Cars.
Is my general all-time obsession.
But is it cars every car from a Nissan Micra all the way to unbelievable performance things, or
it depends what's happening. So I don't see a Micra and go, oh, I'll get me one of them.
Yeah.
However, if someone said there's a Nissan Micra, go and kick its head in around Teesside.
Yeah.
All over it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It depends on what
it's
the
circumstances,
is.
right?
Yeah,
as long as it's got four wheels.
I mean, I love performance cars and rally cars and race cars and stuff like that. That's obviously really interesting.
Yeah.
But anything.
What's the main differences then between driving something that's really set up for performance, so like a Lamborghini or something really high end, versus like a Nissan Micra and things like that? Is it harder to get it to do spots like stunt type stuff, or or is it?
Yes and no. It depends what you're trying to do with it, really.
Yeah.
For me, I'd almost rather drive a Micra, which I know it sounds absolutely nuts, but it goes back to that driving it on the limit. You can drive that on the limit.
I suppose the limit for a Nissan Micra is down there, where a limit for a Lamborghini is up here.
But you still get that adrenaline rush.
Yeah,
and you still get that fun and that excitement of driving a car like that, a normal car.
Yeah.
And the pressure's less. If
Yeah.
you've been a Micra, you're not going to be in that much trouble. If you've been a Lambo, someone's going to tell you off.
Yeah.
So it's that side of it as well.
Yeah.
With something like a massive performance car, like a Lamborghini, a Ferrari, probably for everyone, but for me, there's always going to be that pressure in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
This is $100,000 worth of car. So I think the smaller cars, the cheaper cars, actually can be quite just as much fun.
When you go into which like I say, it depends what you do.
That's it. It depends what you do with it, but it can be.
So if anybody wants to get in touch with you for either obviously the media production work, or if they have corporate events, if it's the motorsport side, or want to do something like that, where are the best places for them to do it?
To contact me, Facebook really, Instagram. I'm all over all of the social medias.
Yep.
Just hit me up on there.
Cool. Website,
that's in the process of just being finished.
Okay.
sarahhallmotorsport.com.
Right.
Cool.
We'll get all those linked below. Thanks very much for coming down.
Thank you.
This has been a great chat about obviously a lot of stuff that I didn't know a lot about.
There you go.
This has been episode 20 of the Teesside Business Podcast. The Teesside Business Podcast is promoted and produced by person-to-person marketing. Thanks for listening.